All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Word with Ty Brownlow. I am your host, Ty Brownlow, and remember, no one is worthless. No story is worthless. Today, ladies and gentlemen, do I have a show for you? My guest, as you can see here, is Miss Michelle E. Williams. How are you?
I am wonderful. Thank you for having me. How are you?
Oh, we are wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And I thank you for being here because we're going to talk about your novel, The Color of Pretty. Okay? But before we get into The Color of Pretty, some of the things we're going to talk about today, ladies and gentlemen. Colorism. Ty, you said the C word. Yes, I said the C word, colorism. Self-love. Loving yourself. Loving who you are. And life. I just told you what it is. Here we go. Miss Michelle E. Williams, Baltimore native, okay? Now, I find the topic we're going to talk about today very interesting because it happens a lot. And not only does it happen a lot, we sort of joke about it, but it becomes a PTSD for those who really don't deal with it within the community at a very young age.
Right.
So talking about colorism, let's just talk about your experiences with colorism.
Okay. So growing up, and speaking about colorism, growing up, as you can see, I'm a dark-skinned woman, and I had a very fair-skinned mom. Very fair-skinned. My mom is really light-skinned, nice hair, and I had a dad who was just as chocolate and black as the street or whatever you call him or whatever. And so the two connected and voila, you get this chocolate skin here. And I remember growing up, as early as 5, 6 years old, and me walking down the street with my mom and even my aunts and things like that would say, Valerie, who baby is that you have? And she would say some choice words, of course, because again, I didn't look like my mom or anything. I looked exactly like my dad. So it was really hard for people to fathom, this chocolate little girl. And even within my family, a lot of my family members were of a light-skinned caramel complexion. So I was pretty much not just about the darkest person within my immediate family. So to experience colorism back then, I don't think it was intentionally for my family members to call me, chocolate bunny, which I didn't like it, to call me chocolate this or chocolate that, or my nickname is Shelly, to call me Black Shelly. Oh, yeah. So I experienced it first within my family, and then going into elementary school and middle school and high school, where it was just better. It was better for light-skinned girls. I mean, I saw it firsthand in relationships, in school, and even playing in the neighborhood. It was just like light-skinned girls had more fun, got more attention, and all that stuff like that. And that's where it actually started for me. I always tell people that I experienced colorism more and first before I even ever experienced racism.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is called the truth, okay? That is true. And it's very interesting that you speak on that, I just had a conversation not too long ago where I talked about the PTSD of lies. So in the PTSD of lies, I'm just going to say it, like, especially in the African American community, we're like brought up to believe certain things, even though they're not true. Like, hey, you know what? Don't no boy gonna want no girl with nappy hair and this, that, and the other. Ain't no, girl gonna want no man who doesn't have, this, that, or what have you. Look at you, as far as colorism, I can definitely speak on that, as a, brown to dark skinned brother myself. Stay out in the light too long, you know what I'm saying? But I had to go through that. Even like backhanded compliments. I distinctly remember my freshman year of high school, sitting in study hall. and a older girl came up to me, and she's like, you a cute little black thing.
Yeah.
Little old black thing. And how do you really take that? How do you really process that? And it's like, okay, so do you think I'm cute, or am I just a black thing? Like, I'm not kidding, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, like,
what about even when they say, and I heard this is late into my adulthood, you cute for a chocolate girl.
Yes.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
No, but okay, now I know I may be dating myself, people. I know I am. Forgive me, but I remember the movie School Days with Spike.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And that was an issue of colorism in that movie as well.
Yes.
One of the main characters played by Lawrence Fishburne, Brother Dap. You know what I'm saying? Forgive me, y'all. I am showing my age, but that's okay. Brother Dap, he had a preference for dark skin over light skin. And he even got called out on that preference by his dark skinned girlfriend, almost guilting him almost in the sense like, you're with me because of guilt. Like, I mean, if you could be with one of those other girls, you probably would, but this like self-righteous idea or whatever that you have yourself caught up in has you like over here, but you can be wherever you want it to be. But she had, but as we sit here and talk about, it trickles down, okay? Like, it's a PTSD. Everyone gets, everyone is affected by this in some shape, form, or fashion. For dark-skinned people, it's usually, you're like battling against light-skinned people. If you're light-skinned people, you're battling against dark-skinned people because you may be the only light person around, and you may hear certain jokes like light bright, yes. And, they may tease you just for being, a certain complexion. Like, we do it to our own selves before, like, as you said, before society does it. So
that's true. Absolutely.
That's man.
Absolutely.
Woo! We just unpacked a lot right there now. Come on now, Michelle. You can't be having to do all this now. Okay? Man, I'm gonna have to go get Ayanna Van Zandt in a minute, man.
I know, right?
Okay. Please fix my life, Ayanna. Okay, man.
Exactly.
Look, I do want some of that Oprah budget though, for real. Like, y'all can go ahead and do a little bit.
Exactly.
Just a little.
Yes.
15. Okay. But no. Human resources.
Right.
Okay. How many years, may I just ask, have you been in human resources?
I've been in HR for 25 years.
Woo!
I'm in my 25th year of HR, working from the bottom till I'm to the top. Yep.
25 years.
25 years.
Okay.
Yes.
I can only imagine the stories. I can only imagine this, like, that needs to be a book. But let's just speak on it a little bit. Colorism, things of that nature, in the workforce. Let's not act like it doesn't happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I see it all the time, and I'll start from where I am now in a leadership role, right? To, as they say, I have a seat at the table, but how many people at the table look like me at the table? And on my way to the table, it wasn't many people who looked like me who could relate to some of the issues with the African-American culture. Absolutely. That's always been an issue from my days of entry-level HR to my now days of leadership. Having the organization that I was with and I'm currently with now throughout the years to understand the African-American culture and some of the things that happen and things that we go through as an African-American culture. So absolutely, it's been there for a very long time. It's starting to come out now. And I think people are starting to notice it now in organizations because now we're in a world of the unrest and injustice and things like that. So now everybody is rushing to get diversity and inclusion and all of that stuff like that. They're trying to implement in positions and things like that to understand the Black culture. Now it's happening all over the world. Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, let me ask this question, okay? And it's not to be a skeptic or anything, but I understand why it is now, but I just find it funny when not you, but when Fortune 500 companies, 99.9% of the time are not African American. When these companies, go on these, hey, diversity and inclusion, man, we need more of this. Okay. But let's just back up a little bit when you just talked about, man, not only having a seat at the table, but in the process of coming to the table, what it took. No one around that looked like you. Okay? Now that you're at the table, still no one really around that looks like you. So my thing is, as an HR person, how do we, how can companies, get that cultural, you have to be culturally competent, towards your employees. How can they really build towards cultural competency, if they really have no one around and you can only go off the one person for so long?
And that's part of doing the work to make your employees who are there, who are not in leadership. It starts, I always tell some of the leadership, it starts with our middle people at the skill service level, the mid-level people and things like that. Have them at the table. Give them a chance to give their ideas and have creative solutions on what makes you happy. What can we do as an organization to ensure you feel as though you are a part of this organization and that what you say matters, what you absolutely say matter. How can we be from top level and we're talking down about what a mid-level manager or mid-level housekeeper or food service worker, things like that. We're constantly making decisions for them, but we're not including them in the process in every step of the way.
True.
Every step of the way. Every step of the way. So it's about learning the environment, learning about the different holidays and things like that, not just glossing over the holidays. But let's turn, I think this was probably the first year in ever that a lot of organizations started talking about, Juneteenth, right? You know that.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
It took civil unrest for things like this, for these conversations to start happening. And then in the HR, they're looking to us like, what do we do? What do we do with the employees? What should we do? Should we start having activities? Can we get a trainer? Can we bring someone in to help and assist? Because they really don't know. They really don't. They absolutely are clueless to some of the issues that are going on around us.
Now, I know certain people are going to be like, are you serious, Todd? Follow me. To a degree, I sort of understand. If you've never been privy to be in a situation where you've had less than, and you don't have the cards stacked against you, and all you really know is privilege and a certain type of luxury that comes with living, why would you really take time to really stick your head over the fence? Because no shame or no fault of your own, you're just living life in a certain type of way. True, there are things going on around you that could possibly affect you, right. But I feel it's pretty much up to everyone, Black and white, not just white. Okay.
Exactly.
Black and white.
To figure it out, to ask questions.
Thank you.
Ask questions. Don't sit and be, like you said, the white privilege and not ask questions. How can you get involved? How can we change the narrative? How can we change the scope of this? this is something that we want to do, not just because a holiday is coming, but what about next year and the year after that? Don't just do it right now. How can we get better?
And, to your point, and the other part of that, see, I told you not to get mad at me. It's about evolving. Yeah. Do you want to evolve to the next level?
Exactly. Because some people don't.
To the next level.
They want to ignore it.
They will look at it as if it doesn't exist. But you're not learning. You're not evolving. Right. And at least if you acknowledge and you see it and you question and you look into, even if you don't have the answer right away, you're looking into, you're seeking, you're checking it out. Oh, okay, this makes this happen. That makes that happen. When I do this, these things happen. Man, these people are upset because the system over here is unjust to them. And I've seen it where, man, things have happened to them in an unjust manner. Oh, I get it now. Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
What can I do?
What can I do? What can we do differently? What can we do differently as an organization to make us stand out? So if we have those surveys and those boxes that we check when people are given, different surveys about how the organization or different things like that, you're able to say, hey, I'm with the company. They might not have it all together, but at least they're trying. They're trying to make us a part. They're trying to understand the culture. They're trying to make a difference. And it may take some time. It will absolutely take some time. It took us, we're still going through it. We're still going centuries later. So we're still going later. Because we can't expect. You can't expect it to be over in the night,
Well, but now you also have to remember, human resources now, things come in shifts. So whereas, man, when you first started out, there were certain types of workers. Now that you've been in the game for 25 years, these new workers coming in, they have a totally different mindset.
Oh, yes, Ty.
They have a totally different mindset than the old.
Oh, my goodness, yes. Nobody reads anymore.
What?
You got nobody reads. You have our millennial folks who it's just, they don't answer emails. They don't answer the phone. You have to text them. Hey, are you coming to work? Are you coming? You got to text them and say, hey, are you coming to work today?
Look. Millennials, y'all already know how I am with you. Look, I love y'all. I really do. I really love y'all.
Me too.
But man, we got to get it together. Let's just start with the dress code. Okay. No. Let's just start with the dress code. So you do understand that you're going to present yourself for a possible position to be, a candidate for a position at this establishment.
You can't have blue hair.
And you're going to wear that.
Oh. Right. And you can't have blue hair. Yeah.
You know what? That's a show for a whole nother day. I would love to have you back for that, because I would.
Yes, absolutely. Oh yeah, absolutely. Like you said, I have stories for days.
Oh, you got stories for days. I already know. I know, because I work with some
days. And I always tell people, I cannot make this stuff up. I don't have that creative of mind to make up some of these stories that happens in organizations. I am not that creative to make up some of this stuff that happens. Okay. I'm telling you.
So let's move it along here. We've already talked about colorism, but we're going to flip that card over right now. And we're going to move to the lighter, lovely side of things, okay? And we're going to get into this book, The Color of Pretty, okay? Because healing, self-love led you to penning this novel, okay? How long did it take you to write this?
5 years. 5 years. At 5 years, I started just journaling, but I can actually say over the last 3 years, I got really serious with it, right? I got really serious, but then 2020 came and that fast forwarded me. I had some time alone with my thoughts.
Oh, you had a lot of time. along with your thoughts in 2020.
Exactly.
Everybody did.
Exactly. So that's like, you going from 5 years to then 3 years, and then in 2020 kind of catapulting it into fast forward. And that was the way the majority of the book was done, was in 2020, because I had, again, that alone time with me and my thoughts. God kept pushing me. You need to do this, you need to do that. And that's where it all happened, basically in 2020.
I love it.
Yep, absolutely.
So let's talk about healing and self-love, especially, and, I don't want to take it from a broad standpoint. I only want to talk about what we know and what we see and what we have in front of us, especially, man, look, my beautiful Black women, man, like I know as a Black man, the world is rough. It is cold. It is heartless. All right. Especially towards us. You all are always out on the front line of everything leading the charge. And even in this day and time when, Black women, especially, more entrepreneurs, more CEOs, more small business, like those small businesses, like taking off, becoming a force. Right. You get bashed on.
Yep.
You get talked about, you get stuff, man, you get stuff thrown on you. Well, not hopefully.
Right,
not
right.
But, like life, society, media, relationships, male and female, family, children, pets, whatever, you know what I'm saying? It happens, So how, in your opinion, how do we start that healing and self-love towards a new us, especially when it comes to Black women?
Exactly. For me, it's kind of figuring out self-love is about learning to love yourself, right? And then doing the work, whatever the issues were of your past. How do you get through those issues? Like for me, I said, it was the childhood trauma, then relationships, some bad relationships, a bad marriage, and then I suppressed it. There was no self-love. I suppressed it. So every relationship that I had, I took it back to my childhood, but then I go into getting my 20-somethings and having relationships before I got married, but still not dealing with the trauma from a childhood. And I took that into my marriage, and then the marriage ended. There was no self-love. I was insecure, no confidence, had no self-esteem, but I was walking around with a mask. No one would ever know it, that I was walking around with a mask and no confidence at all for what I was dealing with. And like they say, you fake it till you make it. And so I was absolutely fake it till I make it. And then it took me going to therapy because to say, okay, every relationship, male relationship that I enter when I was a single woman, is either I'm sabotaging it or I'm putting up walls, being real transparent right now, or I'm putting up walls, which affects the relationship. I need to deal with this. True. I don't want to get to in my, back then in my 40s and now get ready to go into my 50s in a few months to still deal with this issue. So I had to go and dig deep. So self-love is about finding the root of what your issues are. Basically, it's finding the root of what the issues are and dealing with it. And absolutely being transparent about those issues and how you're going to deal with it. Do the work. Self-love is about doing the work. You got to do the work, the bad, the ugly, the stinky, all of that. You have to do the work to get to that self-love. Yes.
I mean, I love it, because that's evolution. And how else do you move on if you can't evolve? Like, if you can't evolve, if you can't go to the next level, then, you're either going to go extinct or you're just going to be trapped in a situation where you're going to be miserable. And either way, either situation is bad. Okay. Because like to evolve, all right, man, look, I'm digging, I'm accepting, I'm learning. This is what I need to do versus this. This is going to make me a better person.
Yes.
I can go personally, when I first got into education, I had a certain mindset of how to deal with certain types of children, you know. But it wasn't until like later on, I went into the special ed side of things, and one of the first kids that I came across was a young girl who had autism. Okay, and I had to be the aide for that young girl who had autism. So I had to change. I mean, of course, it took some time, but I had to change who I was. And I wasn't the same person at the beginning of the year as I was at the end of the year, but I still needed more things to work on because I was, you know, and I talked about this before, the PTSD sometimes of lies and how that can trickle down from a young age into your like adulthood if not dealt with, you know.
Exactly
So,
that. Exactly that.
Man, look, we have a church, y'all. Okay,
That's right. Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
We ain't got no offering plate or no, you know, crackers and wine to pass around. But hey, it's church.
That's right.
Okay.
Exactly. That's right.
Woo! Look. Okay, we're packing this stuff now. Come on now. Okay. So look. Now, for those millennials who are growing up in these households, or, you know, they're out here just starting off in the world, but they have that PTSD. And it's really, you know, totally different now than what it was when you were coming up, you know, because you have a whole social media aspect that you have these days. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad we didn't have, but I'm just saying, like, that social media is a monster.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you had any words on like the trail to healing and self-love, I'm just going to say The Color of Pretty. We're going to talk about when it's going to be released in just a second, but The Color of Pretty. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's really what you need. But in your words, what like loving words or like what healing words would you give to them, or would you offer them?
I would offer to them, again, start to pay attention, have transparency with yourself, be forgiving of yourself, you know, when going through different things, because life is going to happen, whether you like it or not. You're going to get a lot of no's, you're going to get a lot of closed doors, but what are you going to do with all of that? You know, there's a closed door. You're going to try to get in through the window, get in through the crack, get in through the side door or whatever. But have humility, have grace for yourself, first of all, because life is going to hit you hard, you know, especially going through everything we went through in this pandemic and things like that. It set many of us behind, set us back. It reordered some things and reordered our steps and things like that. But have some humility and grace, and find someone as a mentor. Always find someone as a mentor to help mentor you. Look at your circle. Look at your circle of friends and who you have around you. That is so important as in that young age. Who are your friends? Do you have friends who encourage you? Do you have friends to motivate you? Do you have friends to tell you when you're wrong? Do you have friends that you can accept criticism and critiques and things like that and be okay with it, knowing that they're not here to harm you or hate on you or anything like that? You know, they come from a true place of love and respect for you, and they want to see you win. They absolutely want to see you win. So I would say, again, surround yourself with people who care about you, people with grace and integrity. Definitely grace and integrity and humility in this world, because you're going to come across things that's hard and tough, but how you deal with them. Don't stay stuck in your stuff. You're going to lose jobs. You're going to lose relationships. You're going to get no's more than you get yeses sometimes. And you're going to be like, I did everything I could. How come I didn't get accepted? How come I didn't get the job? How come she left me or he left me? Allow yourself some grace. Allow yourself some grace and have a great circle of people, family, friends that you can really trust and rely on. That's what I would tell them. Yeah.
Look, man, we're trying to give y'all some culture around here, because
that's right. Exactly.
Hey, look, if I gotta go through another MTV Awards show whatever, you know, again, man, I'm seriously, I'm gonna hurt somebody. Okay.
I can't even watch it. I can't even try to watch it, the BET Awards. I was like, who are these people?
Yeah, and you know what? I will never get that time back, people. So I'm sorry.
Exactly. Give me my 3 hours of my life back.
Please. I need that sanity. So now your book is set to release in late July. Do you have
July 24th?
Oh,
yes, July 24th. Yes, we're about 2 weeks away, about a little over 2 weeks away, 18 days away. Yes.
July 24th.
Yes,
right.
July 24th.
Now, where can they get the book?
The book online at colorofpretty.com. You can go online and get it there. The book will be available also on Amazon, Walmart, Barnes and Nobles as well. But definitely I encourage you to go to the website and have it shipped directly from yours truly. But also have those other platforms. So yeah, definitely thecolorofpretty.com.
Thecolorofpretty.com, and leave a great review. There you go. All right, man. And for all my Amazon people, look, I know y'all got Prime and y'all be trying to flex, but y'all can go over to thecolorofpretty.com. Okay.
That's right. Exactly.
Right. Stop trying to flex. I see your truck every day. I'm sorry. I mean, man, Michelle.
That's right. Exactly. You had to put it there, though. Put it there. Don't worry about it. Exactly. I understand. You got points and all that stuff. Get it in one day. Yeah, I know.
You okay? All right. I got that.
Exactly.
But we got the website.
That's right. Exactly. Support the website. Exactly.
Support their website. Okay.
Yes.
Now, if people want to get in contact with you, how can people get in contact with you? Social media, online, or what have you?
So social media, my Facebook is Michelle Williams, Confident Woman 2021. Yes. IG is Michelle Diva Styles as well. Michelle Diva Styles, exactly. Or you can email me at confidentwoman2021@gmail.com.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen.
There you go.
Look, we've been having church up in here. We've been talking about it. We've been speaking on it. Okay. And I love it. Unfortunately, I've come to my last question, but that's okay though. This is the question that I normally ask, the question that my show is known for. So I'm going to present it to you. And I am very excited to hear this answer.
Okay.
Miss Michelle E. Williams, what is the one word that best describes you and why?
Confident.
Speak on it.
Confident.
Come on now. Talk.
I am such in a confident space in my life, in this season of my life. I want to encourage and motivate women and men to be their best selves, to have self-love, to do self-care. Self-care is so important as well. But when you have self-love and if you're experiencing self-care, confidence, you can go in the room and not worry about who's looking at you. You can go in the room and don't worry about who's looking at you, but you can go in the room with your head held high, knowing that it ain't my business who's looking at me, who's judging me or whatever. That's none of my business. Mm-hmm. That is none of my business what you think or what you feel about me. Mm-hmm. I'm minding the business that pays me.
There you go.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. Confidence. Okay. I'm going to go beacon. Like in beacon of light. Okay. In that aspect. Because as you said, confidence, and I'm about to tie that into confidence. Okay. Man, it took time to learn lessons. As you learn these lessons, you never shied away from what it is that you were learning, why it is you were learning what you were learning. You never lashed out or whatever. You took everything that you learned, internalized it, processed it, evolved.
Yes.
Okay. You evolving made you confident to go forward because now I could speak on it. You know what I'm saying? I could be out here like, man, I can show you. Mm-hmm. All right. And whereas before I probably couldn't have, but now I can. All right. It's that confidence in me.
Exactly.
beacon of light. Man, who doesn't like to follow a confident person?
Exactly.
I know I do. I don't want to be around non-confident people.
That's right. Exactly.
That doesn't make me feel happy.
I don't profess myself to be an expert. Whenever I'm speaking an expert, there are days and times when I don't feel my confident self. Hey, 5 minutes before this interview, I was like, oh God, I wasn't feeling my confident self, but it's about doing the work, right? And on those days that I don't feel confident or I feel a little insecure because I ate too much that weekend, or, the dress ain't fitting right or whatever, you feeling a little I know how to dig back in my toolbox and remember who I am. Remember exactly and do the work. So I don't stay stuck there. That's always what I tell women, my mantra. Don't stay stuck in your stuff. That woe is me thing, no, get out of that. Get out of it.
You need to market that. Don't stay stuck in your stuff. Those need to be t-shirts. You better get on it now.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, Ty.
Okay. Look, we always think of business around here.
Exactly.
Yes, really. Yes. Market. There you go. All right. No, I love it.
Thank you.
Phenomenal woman. That is she.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Hey, no, look, I love it because I love it when people walk in their truth. And when this is what a lot of people get twisted, and they get it twisted because they're not confident, but they get arrogance and confidence mixed up. And a lot of times they think confidence is arrogance. It's not. You're not bragging on it. You're not bragging on anything. If anything, I'm trying to show you that you too can do this. Let me be that example. Man, I am that example. I am here for you. Seriously. I've always said this. If a person has the right mindset, okay, if I had the right mindset and I came to you and you showed me how to make $1 million,
right?
I wouldn't just run off because I got $1 million. Man, I want to stay and learn a little bit more. Well, man, what can you do with this $1 million? Right. Well, we can do this with it. We can do that with it and have another million and this and the other. When you're really in it for the knowledge itself, man, you're going to be like a sponge. You're always soaking up. You're never just going to run off.
Exactly. Always learning. Exactly.
Okay. And that's what Word with Ty Brownlow was today, ladies and gentlemen. We was learning, okay? We was learning. Right. We was doing it all right?
That's right. That's right.
Look here. I thank you for being a guest on the show today. Seriously. I wholeheartedly thank you because I love the transparency and we really got down to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Definitely. This is what the color of pretty was all about. Again, this was my purging, being transparent. This was for me, it was the last step in becoming a confident woman. It was the last step of being absolutely transparent. Some of my family and friends don't know a lot of this story. So when they read this story, and talking to my mom, she was like, well, how come you never share these things with me? I don't know why. I can't tell you why my 8-year-old or 10-year-old, 12-year-old self didn't tell you. So for a lot of friends and family, this again will be me being really transparent. And this is the last step to the confidence. Yep.
Well, just speak on it for just a second. But, it amazes me sometimes when, parents do say things of that nature, because as I said before, the PTSD of lies, it starts at a very young age. And as you said, you learn colorism before you learn racism from your own people. Okay. So even if you do have these feelings, I know it to be true. Certain feelings and certain things you may have or whatever you may bring to an elder, you know what they're going to tell you to do? Pray.
Go sit down somewhere.
Yeah, well, after that,
Yeah.
Go pray on it and take your butt in there and go.
Exactly. Go sit down somewhere. Exactly.
We need to talk about it. I need to let you know what's going on. No.
Not back in my generation. It was like a child stay in a child's place. Who was I to tell my uncle, hey, I don't like for you to call me that. Don't call me that no more. Who was that? I would have got popped in the mouth.
Please.
I popped in the mouth.
No, I mean, but this is true.
Exactly. Yeah.
Ms. Williams, you got to come back to the show. We got to do a part 2 on this now.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Talking and then just gonna wrap it up and be like, okay, no, we got to come back.
No, it's so much more. It is. It's so much more to talk about. It's a big topic. It really is a big topic.
Well, look, once again, I'm gonna say it again. I really thank you for coming on the platform today and just expressing and sharing your truths and transparencies with us. And man, ladies and gentlemen, you already know. You are welcome. Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Word with Ty Brownlow. I've been your host, Ty Brownlow. Remember, no one is worthless. No story is worthless. You can follow me all social media platforms at Word with Ty Brownlow. Or you can go to my website, tybrownlow.com. You're getting church today from this conversation, plus other great conversations that we've had. Man, Shelly Williams. We out. Peace.